Blue Devil fans, to the Andy Dyer Country Show, sponsored by McGee Heating and Air, Slabco, and Lake Russell Building Supply. I want to thank those sponsors for what they do for the athletic program in this show. Coach, we went to Wesleyan last week, had a tough loss, 14-7. Got 0-3 starts, not what we wanted, but we've played some quality non-region teams to get us ready for region. We got another one coming up we'll talk about a little bit later, but hard-fought game. We won the second half, held them to little or no yards. Kind of tell us how you felt about that game.
Yeah, we never could break free and get a big play, get an explosive play. You know, we held the ball there in the second half for a majority of the time, and so we wanted to come out in the second half and just really work hard to establish the run game and you know, to extend drives. You got to have some explosives in there, and as I told the kids, we've got to be able to break some tackles. We didn't break any tackles during the course of the whole second half, really, and so that's a big difference. You got to have yards after catch, yards after run, you know, in order to go ahead and cap some of those drives off, whether it's a 15-yard scamper for a touchdown or a pass play. So, but we showed a little toughness. We grew up a little bit up front. And which is, you know, that's kind of your test. And in high school football, a lot of times you got to go get in those games to really develop your kids. And you know, because it's nearly impossible to do that in a full practice. You got to do it against, you know, do it against Friday night competition.
Coach, the physical side of it, we know growing up is becoming stronger, bigger. But the mental side of it, how do you handle that when we all know, the kids know the record, but we know, and you certainly know, and the coaching staff knows, stay with us. But how do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's the message you build your program on. It's every week is an opportunity. Whether you know, no matter what, after a ball game, you're either dealing with kids that maybe have had too much success, or maybe they haven't had success yet, and so it's boring for people to talk about. But it's literally just staying in the process, and football is football. It will always be football. You got to block and tackle. You know, we've given up 4 deep balls in the course of those 2 games for 28 points, and so you know, we preach intercept the deep ball, be great tacklers, you know, on defense, and no long runs. And so we accomplished the goal of no long runs in our previous ball game. You know, but we did give up a deep ball right before half, and so there's a telling stat in football. They call it the middle 8. Okay, the last 4 minutes of the second half and the first 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4. And so if you score or you get a score during that period, your chances of winning are going go sky high. Well, we gave up some points in that, and we didn't score offensively, and that was the difference in the ball game. So those little stats, there's 3 stats. There's the turnover battle, there's explosive plays, and then what's what they call the middle 8. And so if you go to any ball game and you look at those 3 stats, you'll go, these things correlate. You know,
I hadn't heard that last one before.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. And some people will say that's bigger than the turnover battle. Wow. But so it's an interesting stat, and so you know that going in, and so you're trying to maybe create an extra possession offensively, okay, to try to sneak a score, whether it's 3 or 7, right? You're trying to dig one out right there. You certainly don't want to be the one that gives it up.
Yeah.
This is Andy Dyer's Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
My name is Nakel Burton. I play offensive line. DK win. The Coven win. Seeing DK win score a touchdown against Wesleyan. Oh my goodness, DK wins. Oh my goodness, the Coven, facts. Scoot, Jalen Dyer, Nick, the whole football team. Nobody on the football team can beat me. I let DK handle it. My name is Nakel Burton. I play offensive line.
My name is Jalen Dyer. I'm a left tackle at Elwood County High School. Of course, the best person in the school. See, I don't know why, but Nick Rambert thinks he's real good at basketball, and everybody say DK good at basketball. Can't neither one of them beat me. They ain't never beat me in their life. I don't know why. I'm not in the greatest category. But the proudest moment of my football career is when I think it was Tryon, when we played them and ended up winning. Something I can do that nobody else knows about. I can sing. I'm a great singer. It would be Patrick Mahomes. I would just be working more and playing my game every day. My name is Jalen Dyer. I'm a left tackle at Elwood County High School.
My name is Jalen Davis, and I play cornerback. Uh, 2K. Nakel. Coach Ingram. When I got a tackle for loss in Stevens County. Hang around DK in ninth grade. Braylon Ho. I can swim. My name is Jalen Davis, and I play cornerback.
Welcome back to the Andy Dyer's Coaches Show, sponsored by Lake Russell Building Supply, Slabco, and McGee Heating and Air. So this week, we host the Lincoln County Red Devils. They're ranked number 1, picked to probably play for it this year. Got a lot of talent. Got some, as you call them, there's some dudes on there that can really break long runs. So another challenge, but we've had 3 challenges already that we had to stop. So it's just another challenge. So what have we done this week to prepare for that?
Yeah, so obviously we had a week off last week, so we've been working against their offensive look for a good 6 practices, it's a great opportunity for our kids. And if you love to compete, if you're a competitor,
absolutely,
you got to thrive and you ought to be starving to get back in this action, especially after a week off. I don't know of a single coach that's a fan of off weeks anymore. So we're pumped to be able to get back on the field. They got a great football team. They got 3 backs that can go the distance, 4 with a quarterback. So we've got a gang tackle. It's a hold him, I'm coming mentality. And the first guy's got to hold him up, and then everybody's got to clean him up. So from there, and they've done a good job throwing the post. So on the back end, if you got deep, you got to stay deep. You got to stay in your deep third and play great pass coverage, so we don't give up a cheap one on a long ball.
Coach, you do a good job of stealing my question before I can ask them to you, and that's the mark of a great coach. But my point was exactly this: from my days in playing sports, period, all sports. If you're a real competitor, you want to play Lincoln County.
Absolutely.
Now, you can win, but when you play people that are that good and they're that, and they're getting all the credit, they deserve all the credit they're getting right now. Good football team, great football team. But as a competitor, that's the one that 20 years from now you remember if something great. And the Granite Bowl, the great thing about the Granite Bowl, and hopefully we'll have a great crowd. They'll be heavy into it, like I'm already into this thing, but they'll be heavy into the game because that's when you have those special moments. And through the years, I've been lucky because I guess I'm old, But I've seen a lot of special moments when people said, I don't think we got much of a chance. And then when it happened, you were glad you were there because it was really special to you. And I'm sure you would go along with the fact we really need our crowd and Elbert County to come get behind these kids at this ball game Friday night. We really need that crowd to be the thing that could help us if we can hang around in that game.
100%. Our kids are working their tails off, and they've had some bad breaks along the last 4 or 5 weeks, and part of growing up is dealing with those, learning to deal with those, and to grind through them. There's a reason they put a ball on the tee to kick it off. I've told the kids this for years. The computers don't decide football games, and so we're excited to put that thing down and get on that grass and go play some great football.
Blue Devil Nation be in the Granite Bowl Friday night as we host the Lincoln County Red Devils, and also I wanted to mention at 6 o'clock be on the square for the Parker Martin. I think it's a supper or some kind.
It's basically a prayer on the square.
Okay,
it's
very
where
cool.
they're asking the community to come out, and that's what you love about Elberton.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I made the comment just a little bit earlier today on the Pick'em show that he's wearing red on that sideline, but let me tell you, we already know where he's from, and the blood runs through him is blue.
That's right.
And we want to make sure that a football game is important to all of us, but we want everybody to pray for Parker and his family, and that the Lord will be with him, and I'm certain he will be with him.
Absolutely.
So be in the Granite Bowl and be the 12th man in the stands. We need you. We'll be there. Until next week, this has been the Andy Dyer's Coaches Show, sponsored by McGee Heating and Air, Slabco, and Lake Russell Building Supply. Until next week, have a great weekend.
This has been a production of Elbert County High School.